thing is the budget. What is budget, right? So whenever we, for example, it's my birthday, right? I have my birthday tomorrow, for example. So I have to make a budget, right? That I will be getting 100 rupees from my mother, and 10 rupees I'll be spending on Coke, 10 rupees I'll be spending on my birthday cake, 10 rupees I'll be spending on pizza. Like this, I'm making a budget. Okay. So similarly, a country is always run by a government. A government rules a country, right? Runs a country. So they also prepare a budget. Okay. So which is known as government budget. So budget, what is budget? So budget is basically a statement of the estimates. Estimates is basically, I'm just assuming it, that cake is of 10 rupees, pizza is of 10 rupees, maybe cake is of 15 rupees, right? So I can make a rough idea. So estimation is basically always a rough idea. Okay. So budget is a statement of estimates of the government receipt and government expenditure. Okay, there are two things. How much money government will get, that is known as government receipt. Okay, receiving money, right? And expenditure, you all people know that spending money is known as expenditure. Okay, so government receipt and the government expenditure, these are the things. Okay, and now during the period of fiscal or the financial year, government don't prepare budget on the basis of monthly basis or the weekly basis. No, they prepare budget on the like on monthly, not monthly basis, on yearly basis. Okay, that is known as financial year or the fiscal year. Okay, hello Halima, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, I'm just making you people revise, then we'll start with the new things. Okay, for 5 minutes I'll just make you people revise because it's a long weekend. So I can also understand whatever you read, it is out of your mind right now. Yeah, just a quick revision. Okay. Okay. So basically, what is budget? Budget is a statement of what? It is an estimate that how much receipt, like how much money government will get and how much money government will spend. Okay, so the government receipt and the government expenditure. And at what time period? The time period will be a financial year or the fiscal year. Okay, and this fiscal year, for example, for us, the financial or the fiscal year is basically from January 1 to 31st December, right? But for government, the fiscal year or the financial year runs from April 1 to March 31st. For example, April 1, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. Okay, so basically this is budget. Okay, now what are the features of budget? First, this is estimation, not the actual statement. You cannot say that, ma'am, you told me that I'll get the cake of 10 rupees, but now the shopkeeper is saying it's of 15 rupees. No, I will tell you that I didn't mention that it is the accurate one. It is the actual one. I told you that this is the estimation. Okay, so basically budget is estimation and not the actual statement. Okay. Second, it is prepared annually. You don't prepare budget on monthly basis or the weekly basis. You prepare budget on the annual basis. Annual is basically the yearly basis. Okay. Next, it is constitutional requirement to present budget before the parliament. It see, every country runs through a constitution. There is a constitution, right? So it is compulsory for the government to present the budget in front of parliament. Okay, you cannot say that. For example, I am the government. I cannot say that I am not in the mood to present budget. I won't be presenting budget this year. No, it is legally compulsory or is the requirement of the country that you have to present budget. Okay. Next, revenue and expenditure are planned according to objective of budget. How much revenue you will be getting, like how much money you will be receiving and how much money you have to spend. That is planned according to the budget. Okay, for example, in your budget it is written that you have to spend 10 rupees on your cake. So in around 10 only you can spend money. You cannot spend 50 rupees on cake because in your budget it is written that you have to spend 10 rupees on your cake. Okay. Next, budget impact the economy through aggregate fiscal discipline and resource allocation. Now, this point is very much like a tricky one, but just understand this, that budget, whatever I am making a budget, that will affect your party. That will affect the economy. Okay, for example, this is party 1. This is party 2. You have the birthday party. Okay, over here, your budget was 100 rupees and here the budget was 200 rupees. You bought one cake. You bought one Pepsi, one cold drink and one pizza. But here your budget was 200, you bought 2 cake, 2 pizza, 2 cold drink, like that. So of course this will be simple party, but this will be exclusive party or the luxurious party. Why? Because every item is more in number and there will be different variety of items as well. Okay, so that's why budget impact the economy. Whatever budget government makes, they affect the economy, the whole country. How? Through fiscal discipline. Means whatever you will be doing the entire year that will affect it. I made the budget today, and according to that budget, I have to work in a discipline throughout the year. Fiscal means the financial year, right? Throughout the year, I have to work accordingly. Whatever budget I made today, it's not for 1 day or 2 days. Throughout the year, I have to work according to my budget. Okay. Next is resource allocation. Resource allocation is basically where I'm putting my budget, where I'm spending money. Allocation is basically, I'll just explain you again. Allocation is basically locating the things. Okay. So where I'll be allocating the resources, where I'll be spending more money, that will be affecting the economy as well. So budget impact the economy through aggregate fiscal discipline and the resource allocation. Hope these points or the features of budgets are clear. Everyone,
Yes,
Mahdi and Halima.
it's clear.
Okay. Good. Now, objective of budget. Okay. So the very first objective of a budget is reallocation of resources. Now I'll just explain you what is reallocation of resources. For example, this is your house, this is your kitchen, and this is the new refrigerator you bought. The service people came and they put this refrigerator over here. They located this. But see, this refrigerator belongs to kitchen. So you place this in kitchen, right? So you reallocated it. Reallocate means putting the things where they belong. You cannot put this refrigerator in your bedroom or the drawing room, right? You have to put this in kitchen because this refrigerator belongs to kitchen. So reallocation means basically putting the resources in their right place. Okay, it came from location. So reallocation, basically putting the things in their right place. Okay. Now what happened? There are two people. One is private and one is government, right? So private people, what they do, whatever they do for their profit. So they don't care about public. They don't care about is there any social welfare or not. So private enterprises always allocate resources, always put resources where they think they have their profit. But in that case, government comes out and government steps out and government put resources in such a way that there are two things, profit as well as the social welfare. Okay. Now what government do? They're basically, private sector tries to, generate those products which give them the tax, which give them the profit. But for example, they produce alcohol, and alcohol is not good for social welfare, right? So, but in alcohol there is high taxation, and from alcohol, the one who produce alcohol, they get high, they get heavy taxation over there, so they get a good amount of profit. So private sector always focuses on this alcohol and all that, but government always focuses on profit as well as the welfare. So what government do? Government has two things. One is tax, one is subsidy. So tax is basically, imposing tax. For example, the product of the wine bottle is 100 rupees. If I impose tax as a government, then it will be 150 rupees. Obviously, there will be high price, like it will be high price. But if I give you subsidy is basically if the product is of 100 rupees. Subsidy means you will be getting the price, you will be getting that product for 50 rupees. Okay. Tax, increasing the price, subsidy, decreasing the price. Okay. So what government do? Government put taxation on the product which are not good for social welfare. Okay. And government put subsidies. Yeah, government gives subsidies on the product which are good, which are social good. Okay. Clear? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, ma'am, that last sentence about,
This one?
yeah, I didn't get that part, ma'am.
This finally?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, actually you don't have to write everything. When you will watch recording now, basically you have to write, I guess, till 4.
Oh,
These 2 points are not included. That's
okay.
why I didn't explain it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Just give it a reading. Everyone just give it a reading. All the it's 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Just give it a reading and let me know if you are facing any issue. It will take 1 minute.
Ma'am, done.
Okay, others,
Done, ma'am.
okay. Now basically moving to next one. Okay, basically reducing inequality in income and wealth. See, income and wealth, whatever I am getting it and whatever I am saving it. Okay. So there are two types of people. One is rich and one is poor. Right. So of course, rich people are rich. They are purchasing everything. But poor people are there, like who are unable to even purchase the basic needs. Right. The basic requirement. So what happened? It's the duty of government to reduce the inequality. There is inequality. Rich people are over here and the poor people are over here. So it's the duty of the government to reduce the inequality. So what happened? Government has two instruments. One is tax and one is subsidy. So through that only government reduces the inequality. And how? Government uses fiscal instrument of taxation and subsidies with a view of improving the distribution of income and wealth. So basically government is using two things, taxation and subsidies. And government reduces the inequality in the distribution of income and wealth by imposing tax on the rich and giving subsidies to the poor. So rich people have to pay tax. Like you can say, if I am earning 1 lakh rupees in a month, I have to pay few tax, maybe 10,000, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, like that. Okay. So what that is happening, because of that, my income is getting reduced. And poor people, government will be giving them subsidies. Like, okay, if you want to purchase something, you can purchase it, but the prices will be low. Okay. So government reduces the inequality by imposing tax on rich people and by giving subsidies to the poor people. Okay. It reduces income of rich. Okay. Basically what happened? My income is 1 lakh rupees, but I have to pay tax. So that's why, because of that, my income is getting reduced. So sorry. Okay. And the living standards of poor are increasing. Okay. So that's why there is an equitable distribution. How living standards are improving? For example, AC. Let's take an example of AC. It is of 100 rupees. As a poor person, I cannot afford it. But government gave me subsidies, right? So I purchased it because now the AC is of only 50 rupees. Okay, the price of the AC is 50 rupees. So I took, I purchased that. Basically, earlier I had no AC, nothing at my place. I was suffering. But now I can afford it. So basically my life standard. Earlier I had, I don't have any AC. But now I have AC, so my life standard is improved. Right? So basically it reduces the income of the rich and raises the life standard of poor. That's why there is an equitable distribution. Okay? And government spend more on anti-poverty, and the employment scheme will increase the people from the poverty line. So there is a poverty line. For example, the person who are earning below poverty, below 100 rupees, they will be under poverty line, and the person who are earning above 100 rupees, they will be above the poverty line. So government, the person who the person who is not employed, who is not doing any job, of course he is earning zero, so he will be under poverty line, right? So what government do? Government bring such policies and bring employment schemes so that they can pull out people from below poverty line and they can put them above poverty line. Okay. So till here you can write, you can skip this two portion. Basically first, second, it is second. I have written third, first, second, third, and fourth. Okay, just give it a reading and let me know if any point is not, you are not getting it. Okay, clear?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, done.
Okay, girls.
Done.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, so from here we have to start the new one, right? I have,
Yes.
yeah, third point. Okay, so Mahdi, you will be making notes from here onwards. I guess you can leave. I guess leave 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages. That will be more than enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and from here onwards, you can start making notes from today. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, third point is growth and development of the economy. This point is very much easy and obvious. See, why I am making budget? Because I want my country to grow, right? So the third objective of the budget is growth and development of the economy. So government make provisions in the government budget to spend on technology. Of course, there are various fields, education, restaurant and hotels, picnic spots. There are lots of things, but government make their budget so that they spend more money on technology, health, infrastructure. Why they are spending this money, like why on these sector? Because that will help to develop the economy. Okay, once the economy get developed, the real GDP, right, the income of the, because the people, if our technology is very good, people will be purchasing new resources from our end, because we are making very good weapons, or you can say any thing. Okay, if our health structure is very much good, people will be attracted, and medical tourism will be increased, so people will be coming, and somehow what will happen, basically our GDP will be increased, our income will be improved. Okay, for example, you are applying for a job. Why you apply for the higher post, like the manager post or the CEO? Why not for the service people? Why for not for the labor force? Why? Because you people also know that if you will apply for the manager post or the higher post, your income will be, definitely you will get higher income, right? And if you will get higher income, definitely your growth will be there, right? There are high chances that there will be your growth, and your income, your total income will be increased, your throughout your CTC will be increased, right? So similarly, government make a government budget in such a way that they spend more money. Government spend money, for example, there is school, I'll be spending money, right? So government spend more money on technology, health, infrastructure, and because of that, what happened, economy develop. And if economy is getting developed, of course, the real GDP is basically the amount of income the country is earning, right, of the nation will increase. Because of that, automatically there will be growth in the economy. Okay, so that's why government focuses more on technology, health, and infrastructure, because that helps the country to develop. And because of development, their real GDP of the country or the economy increase, or a nation increase, that automatically leads to growth in the economy. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can write this point.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Madhi, done?
Yes, ma'am. I wrote.
Now the last one, the fourth point. Okay, so operation of public sector. See, there are two sectors. One is private and one is public. So private, you all people know that they're highly charged or everything. Public is basically the government. Two sector, private and the government. Okay, so public sector is also known as government sector. Okay, so what happened? Government budget is prepared with the objective of making various provisions for the management and operation of public sector. So sorry, I'm getting hiccups, lots of hiccups today. Okay, so basically what happened, there are various sectors like the education sector, the health sector, you can say the entertainment sector, all these sectors. So basically there are government school as well as there are private schools, right? There are government hospital as well as there are a private hospital. So basically what happened, whenever I am preparing a government budget, I will be making everything in such a way that management and operation of public sector, like the the public hospitals, like the government hospitals, like the government schools, all that are financial assistance. Like I can provide them the financial assistance. Now, assistant is basically the help. Okay, you say na, most of time you heard that this is the she is the personal assistant of this person. The personal assistant is basically someone who will be helping the person, right? So similarly, financial assistant. So what government do? Government, for example, this is a government hospital. So what government do financially, like in terms of money, government provide them the help. Of course, our government cannot go there and operate people. Our government cannot go to the school and teach the students. No, what they can do, they can only provide them the financial help. Okay. So financial assistant is also provided. If you don't want to write assistant word, you can write help instead of assistant. So financial assistance is also provided as the sector will create social welfare in the economy. Why? The question is why government is providing financial help to these sector. So why government is providing financial help to these sector? Because social welfare will be there. If I'll be providing them, if I'll be providing financial help to this government school, more and more number of students can come and study there. So of course I'm doing the social welfare. Similarly, if as a government I am investing, I am providing financial help to the hospitals, more and more people can come to the hospital and get treatment done, right? So that's why government budget is prepared with the objective for making various provisions for the management and operation of the public. There are two things, one is management and one is operation. Okay, operation is nothing like that in a treatment. Operation is basically the whole process. Okay, so management and operation of the public sector. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, yeah. So what I told you, government budget is always prepared with the objective that government has to operate and manage the public sector. Okay. And how government do that? Government provide financial assistance to this sector. And why they are providing this financial assistance? To create social welfare in the economy. Because the main motive of government is to provide social welfare. So through financial assistance, through financial help to these sector, which if I provide financial support or if I provide financial help, that will help in management and operation of these sector. And there will be automatically the social welfare. That's why I will prepare my government budget in such a way that I can, provide financial assistance to them and I can, the operation and management of this public sector goes smoothly. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Tanya, Mahdi, Halima?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so you can write it down.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Ma'am, done.
Okay. So I'm just giving you 5 minutes to everyone. Just quickly revise all the objective of budget. Okay. For Madhi, I'm just sharing my screen over here. You can read it from here. The 2 points and rest two from your notes. Okay. Let me know when I have to scroll it down. Just quickly revise, like quickly go through all the points and let me know if you are facing any issue or any point is not clear to you, any query.
Ma'am, scroll. Ma'am, scroll. Ma'am, done.
Okay. Others done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are basically starting with a new concept, which is very much important. Okay. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
Okay. Now basically we will be starting with component. Okay. Components. Okay, so what happened? As I told you in the statement itself, like when I to introduce you what is government budget. So at that moment only I told you people that the government budget is basically is the estimation of how much money government will get. That means receipt and the expenditure. Okay, so basically it is receipt and the expenditure. Okay, so these are the components of government budget: receipt and the expenditure. Okay, so when the question will be there, like what are the components of government budget, you will say budget receipt and the budget expenditure. Okay, but budget receipt is of two types: revenue receipt and the capital receipt. Okay, and similarly budget expenditure is of three types. Somewhere it is written six. How? Because it is revenue expenditure first, second capital expenditure, third development expenditure, fourth non-development expenditure, fifth plan expenditure, and sixth non-plan. But in some books it is written only three: revenue expenditure and capital expenditure, development expenditure, non-development, plan and non-plan. Okay, now again, if I'll ask you how many components of budgets are, you will say, ma'am, there are only two components: budget receipt, how much you are receiving, and budget expenditure, how much you are spending. Okay, but budget receipt is of two types: revenue receipt and the capital receipt. Similarly, budget expenditure is of three types: revenue and capital, plan and non-plan, development and non-development. Clear? Is this flowchart clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm explaining you again, and I hope after that it will be clear. Okay, so basically it is of two components are of two types: budget receipt and budget expenditure. This receipt is of two types: capital and revenue, capital receipt and revenue receipt. And this expenditure is of three types: capital and revenue expenditure, plan and non-plan, okay, and development and non-development. Okay, I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, Halima, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear?
It's clear.
I'm just sharing my screen. You can see if you want to make a flow chart, you can make a flow chart as well. Like here you can write structure and component, then you can write like this: budget receipt and budget expenditure, and 2 points over here and 3 points over here. Like this, or if you want to write this, you can. It's totally your choice. Okay.
Ma'am, done.
Okay, others?
Done.
Ma'am, can you show the
Okay.
last line of that part?
This one?
Yeah, yeah. Just one.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. So now students, I'm just telling you a few points which are very important. Just remember these 2 points and everything will be very much clear. Okay. Now, as I told you, there are two things. One is revenue. Just a minute. Huh? Okay. So basically, as I told you, it's receipts, okay, and the expenditure. Okay, so first we will be covering the revenue receipt. And the revenue receipt is of two types, you people know. One is, sorry, this receipt is of two types. One is revenue receipt and one is capital receipt. Okay, similarly, the expenditure is, we will be looking toward it later on. Okay, now revenue receipt. Just tell me, everyone will tell me the answer. In case revenue receipt is basically getting money. So what are the sources? You have to tell me two sources from where you get money. So first, Anya, just tell me what are the two sources from where you can get money.
From job.
Okay, job. Okay, but right now you are not working.
Um, from parents.
Yeah, parents or your relatives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And second,
Um,
okay, Mahdi, you want to try?
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. There was someone here.
Okay,
Ma'am, I can take loans from bank.
yeah, loans. Basically, you are taking it from someone else, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, someone. I guess someone else. But Halima, you want to try for the second one?
Loans, I think.
Be loud.
Loans.
Yeah, loans. Okay. Any other thing?
By doing investment.
Yeah. Okay, investment. Okay, good. Okay, students, very good. You were, very close to the points. Okay. So basically, if you are getting money, right? If you are getting money, first thing is that, for example, you borrowed it from someone, right? I'll come to all the points. You borrowed it from someone. Okay. Next is you sold out something. For example, this is my mobile phone. I sold it out. Okay. And of course, I'll get money, right? So basically, there are two things. One is liability. Okay. And second one is asset. Okay. Just remember these two things. Liability in the entire government budget chapter, you have to remember two things: liability, assets, liability, assets, liability, asset. These two terms should be like very much important, should be in your fingertips. Okay, liability is basically, for example, someone gave me money, I have to return it, right? So there will be something in my mind that, oh my god, I have to return it, I have to return it, I have to return it. So my liability will be increased, right? Because the tension will be there. And of course, whenever I'll be returning that amount to that particular person, I have to, give a certain amount, right? In as an interest as well. And same next is asset. Asset is basically the product. Okay. Product is like, for example, I have my mobile phone. This is my asset. Okay. If I sold it out, earlier I had two mobile phone. I sold one mobile phone. Now I have one asset. So basically my asset got decreased. So either what happened, liability was increase or decrease. For example, you repaid all the loans. So that means your liability decreased. But when you are taking money, that means your liability will be increased, right? Similarly with assets, when you purchase something, your assets will be increased because earlier you had one mobile phone, now you have two. But if you will sell mobile phone, then your assets will be decreased. Clear?
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So liability is if you take money, of course the interest rate, everything that tension. Okay. And asset is basically the product. Okay. So for money, there is a situation, if you are borrowing it from someone, so what will happen? Your liability will be increased, right? Because you have the tension, oh, I have to return it, I have to return it, like that. And similarly, if you are selling your asset, so basically your asset will be decreased. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so two situations, you are getting money from borrowing or you are selling it. So if you borrow something, it will be your liability will be increased. But if you sell something, your assets will be decreased. But now similarly, there are two other chances you can get money. For example, your grandmother or your parents gave you the money. In that case, your liability does not increase or does not decrease. Why? Because you don't have to return that money to your parents, right? So when your parent give you money or you get money from your job, okay, you are working somewhere. So you, in that case, like your liability won't be, there is no effect on liability. It won't be increased, not even decreased. Okay. Similarly, for example, you got a gift of like you got a gift voucher of 500 rupees, getting money. But here also you didn't sold out anything, so your assets is also not being affected, right? So there are two scenarios. In one scenario, your liabilities and assets will be like they will be affected, but in other scenario, your liabilities and assets will won't be affected. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Everyone, Mahdi, Halima, Sana, getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now coming to fresh one again. Two things you have to remember: liability and the asset. Okay. If you are getting money, there are high chances you are borrowing it from someone. So that means your liability will be increased. But and second chances you are selling something. So when you sold out something, your assets will be decreased. Okay. But the other scenario is, for example, your mother gave you money or you got your money from your job. It was your salary. So your asset and liability won't be affecting. Or you getting gift or something. Okay. These two things you have to remember: asset and the liability. Okay. Now I just come to the thing. Okay. Now first we will understand what is budget receipt. Okay. Budget receipt is basically, budget receipt refers to estimated money receipt of the government from all source during the fiscal year. Budget receipt is basically I am receiving money, right? So budget receipt refers to estimated money. Here also I have written estimated. Why? Because it's not the actual one. I can only assume or I can only predict. Okay. So budget receipt refers to estimated money receipt of the government from all sources. Okay. For example, all sources means I can get money from my friend, I can get money from my parents, I can get money from like from my team member as a gift. So all the sources. So budget receipt basically means estimated money receipt of the government from all the sources and during the fiscal year, means in a 1 year how much money government is receiving from all the sources, that is known as budget receipt. Okay. Now revenue receipt. Okay. So basically receipt means receiving. RR, whenever there is RR, that means that is a good part. Your assets and liability won't be affecting because RR is a good one. Receiving. So no, nothing will be affected. So these receipts do not create any corresponding liabilities. Okay, so when you receive revenue receipt, they don't create any liability. For example, tax. I am paying tax to government, so it's a salary for the government, right? So tax and licensing fees, everything. These are the they don't create any liability. Similarly, they don't cause any reduction in assets. Okay, your asset won't be affected. Example, licensing fees, gift, grant, fines, penalties, all that. So these receipts are recurring in nature. Recurring is basically repeating. Okay, so what happened? For example, I paid tax for this month. Next month also I have to pay tax, right? For next to next month I also have to pay tax. So basically these receipts are recurring in nature, like they repeat. Okay, and assets and liabilities of the government are not affected. Okay, for revenue receipts, assets and liabilities are not affected. Okay, now coming to capital. These receipts create, these are the part that one, you are borrowing it from someone or like that. So capital receipt, these receipts create corresponding liabilities for the government. For example, borrowing. If you will borrow it from someone, of course your liability will be affected. So liability will be created, that will increase. Okay. Second point, these cause reduction in asset. For example, you are recovering your loans. For example, you took loan from someone, now you are repaying it. So that is also, you are reducing your assets. And investment is basically, for example, I bought this mobile phone, this is an investment. But I need to pay money to my friend. So I sold this phone. This is disinvestment, opposite of investment. Okay, so what is happening? There is a reduction in the assets. Okay, but these capital receipts are non-recurring. For example, I sold my mobile phone. I won't be selling my mobile phone every month, right? It is one time. Okay, so these receipts are non-recurring. Non-recurring means recur again and again, repeating. If you don't want to write recurring, you can write repeating. Okay, and assets and liabilities of the government are affected. Clear?
Clear.
I hope I am making myself clear. For revenue receipt, see, if you are getting money, there are high chances you will be either your liability will be increasing or your asset will be decreasing. Okay, but for revenue, RRR here, you are receiving, so your liability won't be affecting either nor your asset will be increasing. So you will be writing no corresponding liabilities are caused, and here there is no reduction in assets, but they are repeating again and again. You have to pay. And last line, the conclusion: assets and liabilities of the government are not affected, but for capital, they create liability. Example, borrowing, and also they reduce the asset. Example, disinvestment or the recovery of loans. Okay, but these receipts are non-recurring. You don't have to pay again and again one time. Okay, and last, assets and liability of the government are affected. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Just write it down and first write the definition of budget receipt. Okay, what is budget receipt? And then revenue receipt and then capital.
Ma'am, done. Ma'am, done. Ma'am, done.
Okay. Girls, done.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
So everyone, like, of course, syllabus is going to add on. So make sure that you are revising it. Components and the objective, and of course the previous one else. Just revise it. See, right now you must be wondering that okay, we got it. Okay, this budget receipt and everything. But if I'll randomly ask you question in the next class, it will be difficult. So just give it a reading. Tomorrow you don't have any class. So the same time, just take out your books and just give it a reading. Okay, I'm not asking you to learn it, but at least give it a reading. Okay, that okay, revenue receipt is this and capital receipt is this. Okay, the assets and liability part should be clear that what is happening in revenue receipt, liabilities and assets are being affected or not, like that. Clear?
Yes.
And the objective, because the objectives are like a lengthy one. So in one day you cannot remember it. But if you will revise it, just give it a reading, na, it will be easy. Whenever I'll be taking your test, it will be easy for you to learn.